I am Linda Kaiser, and welcome to The Circle. It is Thursday, April 14th, 2016, and I am with my co-host, Morgan Rhodes, and we have three guests. We have her father, Wayne Rhodes, and we have McKenna Beam and Mats Uldal. And so we have a three-purpose issue today. The first is that Morgan Rhodes and McKenna will be doing a show of their own, so we want to introduce that. Wayne will be doing a show with Sanjay, and we want to introduce that. And Mats is coming to the United States, and he's world famous for thought field therapy, which is the original tapping technique that he's been doing this for many years in Europe and is very well known. And he'll be coming to the United States and possibly be doing a seminar here. So we want to address all of that. So who wants to start? Or Morgan, how do you want to start?
Well, the first thing I wanted to do is just have McKenna and Wayne just share a little bit about their passion, their vision for GMOP, and really just how they got involved. McKenna and I will be leading a channel kind of geared towards 20s and 30s, whereas Wayne will be introducing a channel mainly for the male voice and discussing issues related to that gender. So, McKenna?
Hey, yeah, well, I just wanted to state, I'm really excited about the channel that's coming up with us, and I just want to share my passion with you guys because I think it's really important to let people know sort of why we're doing things because it really, really relates to what we're doing. So my passion really is to help people find, their gifts, their talents, even their passion, in essence, their purpose. And, I think so much of the time we're focused more on the external rather than the internal of what's going on inside and how we can grow together on that level. And I just sort of want to lead by example and show people that internal growth is very, very important.
Yeah, and I think you make a good point. I think the idea is to not ask yourself what the world needs, but what you need so that you can come alive, because that's really what the world needs. It's people who have come alive.
Exactly.
Ain't that the truth?
Yes, as for me, well, first of all, my passion for GMOP TV is really because it's focused on truth, education, and peeling away the veneers of ignorance, basically. And for me, one of my biggest frustrations, I guess, as a world citizen is we live in a photoshopped reality, and it's so hard to understand what truth is. Everything that's presented to us in the media is suspect, and it's laced with agenda. So it's refreshing to me to work for an organization that's focused on really peeling those layers away.
So Mats, how would you address, now here you are, you have taken this thought field therapy, this tapping technique. So would you give us a brief explanation of what that is and how it would relate to some of the issues that Wayne just shared about how we discuss our photoshopped reality and our mainstream media and those things? Could you help us out here?
Very briefly, what tapping is, it's developed by an American psychologist, Dr. Roger Callahan, in the early 80s. And I have been doing this for 19 years now. It's actually the discovery that our body has an as effective repair system for feelings that are not necessary or irrational that it has for physical problems. If you get a scratch in your skin when you are in the woods, you know that if it's not too deep, just some days afterwards, it's gone. The body has healed it. We have discovered that the body also have this internal system for solving irrational feelings or irrational intensity of feelings. So what I have done is developed the thought field therapy a little and made some advanced questioning techniques that makes it possible to come down to the root fundamental cause of most psychological problems. And we want to educate people because it's very easy to learn it. We want to educate them so that they can help themselves for the rest of their lives for free, much more efficient than you do in normal psychology. My background is as a specialist in mental training for top athletes for 20 years and a specialist and a presenter in positive thinking. And for many years, I thought that was the way to go. Today, I know it's not that. You can help a lot with positive thinking, but you cure very seldom. So if you want to cure anything, you have to think about the bad things, and when it is activated, the bad feeling, then you tap on certain points on the body, and then the body takes down the tension in the body according to what you are thinking about very quickly. And when you are not anxious anymore, obviously, then your life is much better, and then it's more easy to think positively.
I have a question. So McKenna sometimes maybe is a little bit shy of public speaking. Could you demonstrate something with McKenna, perhaps?
Yeah.
Would you be willing to do that, McKenna?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
For you, McKenna, what is the worst part of presenting anything?
That I wouldn't know what to say when I'm presenting. That I might not know how to convey it or communicate it to the audience.
And if you do not do that, what is the worst with that thought?
I guess that people might think I don't communicate well.
Excuse me, what did you say?
That people would think that I don't communicate very well.
And if they think that, what would be the worst with that situation?
I guess just that would be their perspective. I guess
What
that's,
would you feel about it? What is the worst possible consequence if they felt and thought that?
that it might be painful on my part to know that I'm not able to express myself in the way that I would like to.
Have you felt that before in your life?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you tell us, you don't have to be specific right now if you don't want to, but can you tell us how old you are when you remember that?
I would say in college.
If you are in college again, right now, where do you picture yourself, inside or outside?
Inside.
What is happening inside right now? Are you at a stage, or are you going to go up there, or what is happening right now?
Probably about to walk up in front of the classroom to give a presentation.
Okay. Have they told your name yet?
Yes.
Okay, if they do it right now and we stop the picture, let's say this is a film, we just stop the film. How bad is the feeling thinking about starting the film and go up there? 0 to 10. 10 is the worst feeling you have ever had, and 0 is nothing. No problem.
Probably the worst feeling, probably a 4 then, compared to the worst feeling I've ever had.
Yeah, 10 is the worst. And
10
now,
is, I feel like
now 4. Okay, where do you feel the 4 in the body?
my heart.
Okay, how does it look like? If you had to paint it for me, is it round? Is it oval? Is it like a sphere? A sphere? What is it like?
It's probably more of a round feeling.
What color would you give it if you had to give it a color?
Red.
All colors are normally, when we talk about colors normally, it is frequencies that hits our eyes. Now, when you picture inside the feeling, then you will recognize the frequencies in that particular area, and that's why you can see it as a color. Do you feel it's hard or soft, the feeling?
More hard.
Is it heavy or light?
Heavy.
Rough or smooth?
Rough.
Warm or cold?
Warm.
Okay. Now, if you have your fist like this and have the index finger on the other hand between the little and ring finger knuckles, and then take it half an inch down and tap with 2 fingers in between. And think about that feeling. Think about that feeling in your heart. You are about to go up on the stage. All what you told us some minutes ago could happen. If you don't speak fluently or don't remember things or anything can happen, it can be really bad emotionally. Think about how afraid you are to experience that if you start the film and go up on stage. If something starts to change with a feeling in the heart, tell us. And now when you have tapped more than 50 times on that spot, then you tap, if you start with your throat, 3 fingertips, 45 degrees down from there, let's say to your left, down to your left, and then tap just underneath your collarbone. Just underneath your collarbone. And think about the feeling in the heart, which tells you how afraid you are to start a film, to go up and speak to the audience. How bad is the feeling right now?
Not very bad.
So how strong is it? It was a 4.
So it's probably more like a 1.5.
So more than 50% down in 1 to 2 minutes. Is that okay so far?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Is it so low right now that you will start a film on your own, or do you want to wait until it's more like a 0?
Probably wait till it's more around a 0.
Then you do that. So start tapping here again. These 2 points is the same as if any of you have a headache. Think about exactly the detailed picture of the headache, and it will be gone in 2 to 5 minutes for 90% of all people. So think about what's left of the feeling in the heart right now, how bad it is to start the film, because then you know you will have to go up there and talk to the audience. How would you describe the feeling in the heart right now? Is it the same shape?
No.
What shape is it now?
It's more of a, I guess it's the same shape, it just seems smaller.
Okay, smaller, but same shape. What color would you give it right now?
Probably more of a blue.
Mm-hmm. You see it changes when the frequencies in that area changes, you will see it as a different color. It doesn't matter what color you start with. What matters is if it changes, because then the frequencies in your body will change. And it's changed. So is it as hard?
No, it's.
Is it as heavy?
No, it's not.
Is it the same rough, smooth?
Very, very smooth.
Mm-hmm. Is it the same temperature?
No, it's colder.
So now we see that all the details has changed. That means a lot has happened. If one of them had changed, only a little had happened, but it's still something which is better. When all of them, then it's more. So now tap here again, underneath your collarbone. Think about what's left of the feeling. How afraid are you right now to start the film, go up and speak to the audience?
Not very at all.
So now you can start a film and go up?
Yeah.
So choose that. This is good because it's not me telling him to try to do it. I ask him, do you want to start a film? And when he does that, it makes it more convenient for the people we help. So Picture yourself and tell us how it goes. 1 second. Tap on the side of the hand, because this secures that the electricity in the body flows. And when that flows, you have the ability to talk fluently. To be able to talk, write, or say things fluently has to do with the possibility or the electricity, the flow of the electricity in the body.
So we should just do this periodically?
Every hour, just some seconds. Because we don't feel when it turns. What we can experience is that we say right when we mean left, or we say south when we mean north, that we bump into things more often than normally. That means that the electricity don't go from one muscle to another at the exact right time.
I have that. I have that issue a lot. That's fascinating, Mats. If you don't mind, what is the actual mechanism that behind the tapping methodology?
We don't know, actually, because we don't know anything about feelings and anything about thoughts, actually. We know where the effects of the thoughts are in the brain. We do not know what a thought is. So what we have experienced is that when we know that 99% of all books about self-help or self-development is telling you to think in a certain way, I believe today that they are mostly wrong, all of them. Because feelings is starting your thoughts. Wayne would never wake up in the morning and neutral in his emotions and think, if I think scary thoughts now for 2 hours, I will have an anxiety attack at 11 o'clock. Nobody would choose ever to have that type of thinking if you don't have a feeling first. But that feeling is often subconscious. So when a subconscious feeling creates a conscious thought, then we become aware of it. When we are aware of it, we become aware of the feeling. That's why we not correctly think that the thought comes first. So the subconscious feeling creates a conscious thought that makes the feeling conscious. How fluently do you feel you speak? 10 is you have no chance whatsoever to speak fluently. 0, it's 0 problem. How do you feel right now?
Say about a 1 to 2.
Even if you remember that you experienced the fear at that time?
Yes.
I was on the internet kind of trying to, I guess, distill down what you do into like a phrase or two. And I saw someone call it like psychological acupuncture. Is that really what you're doing? Are you tapping into the meridians and the energy points in the body to...
Perfectly correct, but I wouldn't call it acupuncture because there is no needles. I will call it
without the needles.
acupressure. So when you have acupuncture, you punctuate your skin with needles. Acupressure, then you hold all the time. And this is only another part of doing the acupressure, tapping. When we tap, we create, among other things, we create a wave movement. And waves is the one single thing in the universe that needs less energy to keep on going. So the heart, by many things, it's not a blood pump. It starts a wave function. So all the other things in the body will only continue with a wave, because if the body should be a pump, then your largest vein or largest, the aorta had to be of steel, alloyed steel, to do it as hard as it has to do to come 100,000 kilometers of blood veins around the body. It's not possible. So the thing it does, it starts a wave, and everything else continues to have that wave. And it looks like, as we know, in the HeartMath Institute in the States, 70 people do science on the heart and have done so for almost 20 years, that the frequencies in the heart actually is sent to the brain that starts the actions that we call feelings. So feelings comes from the heart, and everybody knows that because in every culture in the world, people are talking about the heart when they talk about feelings. And if you came home and your partner looked you really good into your eyes and said, "Oh, I love you of all my brain," you know that something is wrong, don't you? We don't have to be told it. We just know it's wrong.
That is so funny. So Wayne, did you wanted to address something else?
Well, yeah, I had by the way, this is absolutely fascinating, and it's cool because I'm coming from a perspective of knowing absolutely zero about this. So it's so just fascinating, and it just resounds in my heart as true. But I've read this concept of like subconscious triggers where, and I've observed it to be true in my own life. As an example, my mom took cortisone, heavy doses of cortisone, because she had lupus, and that had the effect of making her very short-tempered, and she would raise her voice at me. So I somehow got this programmed response that when people, and I presume it to be because of my mom, when people raise their voice at me in a very harsh way, I emotionally just kind of shut down. And my question is how does your process relate to that? Is there a correlation there?
This makes the body less tense in seconds or in minutes, but always according to what you have your focus on. So if you focus on a pain, let's say a headache, obviously it's more tension where the pain is than somewhere else in the body. So we want to tell the body that the tension is what we want to heal. So we think about the tension, how focus on the tension, then we start tapping to release the tension in that area. Because as we know in sports, always the thoughts make our body go in the direction of our focus. And you can see that very easily. Where if you all do like this, put your hands together. Take your index fingers apart. Look at your index fingers now and look at how magnetic they become now.
That's so bizarre.
Look at them, how magnetic they are, and they will go together and they will hit each other. Obviously, you can make them stay, but if you think about them becoming magnetic, they will come together. Sometimes slowly, sometimes quickly. This is behind the visualization techniques that we have in sports. If you visualize what you're going to do again and again and again, then you train your brain to send out the same signals to the right muscles, even if you are not doing it other than in the brain. So you can train yourself to a better technique in any sport if you visualize again and again and you have the right picture. So this technique is now combined with a new technique that means tapping will release or lower tension. So we can send the effect of the lowered intention to whatever part of the body we know, because we have focus on the part of the body that we want it to lower the tension in. So as we know, the body can solve bad feelings. Sometimes we have to give it a little time. But the opposite is when we call it PTSD, then it's normal that it gets worse and worse for every year or every 5 years.
And you have done a lot of treatment for PTSD especially, correct?
I have been several places in the world, among other in 6 months after Katrina in New Orleans. We helped 7 people from around the world, specialists in this, and we helped 25 doctors and nurses that were not able to work because they were traumatized. So after 2 sessions, they could all work. And that means that we can solve an enormous amount of money, an enormous amount of suffering, both for the people who are helpers, which are in this case more important than the ones that are one-on-one traumatized, because every one of these doctors and nurses have to help, let's say, hundreds. It's like you are in a plane. We feel bad about it, but we understand why it's important to put on the oxygen mask on yourself before you do it on your child. Even if your feeling is, I want to help my child first. But the correct way to do it, the best way to do it, is to help yourself, because you can do a lot of help and much more help when you are able to help without having problems. So we need to have an easy system that gives easily observable results, and this does that. I have been in former Russia helping women and children who are sufferers or victimized from violence after trafficking. And I have been in Uganda and helping people who have been victims of violence and poverty trauma. I have started and treated people from Kosovo, from war trauma, and it's more than 95% success every time. More than 95%. The world has never ever seen anything like it. So that's what I want to do to help the world to understand that it's now a possibility to do something which is never dangerous, which works quickly, most of the time, very quickly, is easy observable when it comes to the results, and even children can learn it and help each other. If they are 8 years old, they can help each other with headaches and so on school.
I love that. And our job is going to be to help you spread that in the United States and everywhere around the world. And with that, I invite Morgan to end us for today.
Can I ask just one more question?
Absolutely.
Well, I understand you've helped athletes and stuff as well, correct? Olympic athletes? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, just one more question for our audience. I'm sure not everyone is familiar with meridians. So could you just quickly,
Yep.
I mean, I know you can't put it in a box, but maybe how you choose which areas of the body to tap on, depending on what issues?
It's all due to mostly for the work that Roger Callahan did. He died 1.5 years ago. And the meridians in Chinese medicine is like energy lines in the body. It's easier to call it electricity. It's the steering system for the electricity in your body. Every cell in your body is creating electricity. So something has to steer that electricity or to manage it. So they say that we have 14 lines, main lines. We have a lot of small ones going in between everyone, but mostly we talk about 14. And that is 12 on that half and the same 12 here. So the stomach meridian is starting underneath the eye, but the other stomach meridian is starting under the other eye. So we have the same one in 12 and 12. Then we have one in the middle from here and down to the groin, and from here and in the middle, but up here and in the middle on the back. So since it's in the middle, it doesn't need 2. So we have 14 in all, 12 at each side of the body, and then 1 in the middle in front and 1 in the middle on the back, 14 in all. So normally we need in acupuncture, you can use many points, acupoints on these meridians, and they have maybe 350 to 1500 depending on what type of acupuncture, and we only use 14 at the most. And I have developed a system that makes it easy to do it with only 2 to 4 points. But I ask people questions so that we can come down to the real fundamental root cause of what you are afraid of, because no person is ever afraid of what they say they are afraid of. Nobody is afraid of spiders. They are afraid of the consequence of being around the spider. Then you have the right frequency. The body knows exactly what to do, so it turns it on just exactly as you would do in the radio with noise. In a modern radio, you would tap, and then the frequency will go up. And the other one, it will go the other way. And how long are we tapping on the radio if it's noise? Until
there's no static.
Correct. until it's no more noise. In a TV with a remote control, if it's a bad picture, how long would we do like this? Until the picture is good.
Yeah, till we fix it.
And how long did we do it when we tried it now on the body? We did it until we feel no more bad feeling. So it looks like the body has an internal fine-tuning system, which is elegant, fast-working, and never dangerous. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, and you know, as we talked about a couple of shows ago and about water, you know, everything has consciousness, and our bodies are water, and the water takes on the energy and the vibrations of its environment. So it would only make sense that simple energetic things would be able to kind of change the environment of that. And you know, now that I close, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. You know, as you guys know, our mission here is really to just empower people and awaken people to the way things actually are. You know, our medical systems are not, it really comes down to a simple thing. You know, as Rumi said, you are not a drop in the ocean. You are the ocean in an entire drop. You have everything you need inside of you to begin changing the environment of your world. And it really comes down to very simple things, and you don't need to rely on somebody else to save you or to heal you. It's all right there inside of you. So I hope you tune in next week, and I hope you enjoyed it. Everybody have a great night.